Hey guys, V from Shark Fin Shears here. Thank you for tuning in to today's class where we're going to be doing a live haircut, bringing you tricks and tips that you can take this week and use behind the chair. I suggest taking one or two of these tricks, trying them out on a client this week, see how they work out for you. Have fun with it. We're going to have fun in today's class. And be sure to tune in every Monday or check out the YouTube channel so you can see the recordings as well. If you're in today's class, please stay tuned to the end. I want to give you a promo code that you can use on the website to shop around that'll help you out when purchasing a pair of shears. Shark Fin is dedicated to bringing education on the tools that you're going to be using behind the chair. I'll talk specifically about the shear that I use and why I like it. And I just want to let you know, again, before we get started, that Shark Fin has a shear for everybody, whether you're looking for a swivel or a non-swivel, a 5.5 inch shear up to a 7, and the different type of blending shears that we offer as well. There's something out there for everybody, and I want to make sure that you have the tool that you're comfortable with in your hand when you're working behind the chair all day. So again, stay tuned until the end. Thank you for tuning in today. And if there's anything in the future that you would like to see, hit us up on Instagram at Shark Fin Shears and let us know what you want to learn about. Let's get started.
Technical difficulties. You good now?
Yep.
You can see my volume going up and down?
Yep.
Okay. That's what happens on a live segment. Just thankful we got Des behind the computer to make sure everything's running smoothly. So, welcome to another Monday. Super excited, as always. Pretty sure that's what I say every time about what we have in store for you today. And it's just because of the amazing guests that are able to come out and support this class. So got a live model today for you guys. His name is Kris, a client of mine that I've been cutting for years, and fun hair to cut, and he's always willing to switch it up a little bit too. And we recently just switched his haircut over, and I'm excited to share that with you today and everything. So thank you for joining us. If you missed today's live segment, you can check us out on the YouTube channels under the Shark Fin account. And if you're tuning in for the first time today, during this class, please interact. You can write into the chat, you can ask questions, tell us what you're liking, what you want to see more of. It helps me gauge what you guys need, and that's what we're here for today. So thank you guys for all your support. This is Shark Fin's way of giving back to our community, those that are standing behind the chair and helping others look good. So before we get into today's haircutting class, I'd like to share something with you that has been on my mind a little bit with as I'm teaching my students at Modern Male Barber Academy. So when I'm assessing students, I tend to see that there's a spectrum of how aggressive they are when they approach hair. They can be overly aggressive when cutting, just going right in, diving right into it and just chopping hair. Or they could be hesitant to a point where the clipper's barely touching the head, or they're not going high enough with the clipper or anything like that. If you're an educator and you're observing this, it's very important to speak into. And if you don't have a coach or someone watching over you while you're cutting, you can kind of take a step back and do an assessment. Are you on the end where you're timid, you're kind of afraid to go too high, you're afraid to cut, or are you on the other side of the spectrum where you're just kind of going in and going too high, going too far in, cutting too much off? Wherever you're at, we want to find that happy medium. So taking a quick assessment on what's going on with the haircut and what might be holding you back from producing that overall quality haircut. It's not a skill thing. You either need to slow down a little bit or you need to be a little bit more aggressive in your approach. You need to take that assessment for yourself, figure out where you're at. And you can do that during the haircut, seeing the final outcome and observing those around you. Okay, if you're in school, watch the people cutting to your left and right a little bit. Shadow them. Find the student in your shop that's producing the haircuts that you want. If you're currently in a shop, look at the barbers around you or stylists around you. See what they're doing. Ask them questions. All right, it's to empower you to be better and to produce a quality haircut for your client. All right, so just something I wanted to share with you guys today, something that can kind of hold you back as a barber. You're either too aggressive or you're not aggressive enough. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful for you. All right, I'm gonna bring my boy out, Kris. We're gonna get started on this haircut. We'll talk about a few things with the haircut and go from there. All right.
We have a school that joined us.
Yeah.
WST Beauty School.
All right, WST Beauty School. Thank you guys for joining us today. If you just joined and kind of missed the first part, if you have any questions, comments, or anything during the haircut, during the live taping today, you can send them in the Zoom chat, and we'll answer them while we're cutting hair. All right. So thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Kris, come on down. What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, brother. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right. On Monday. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff going on today, but appreciate you coming in.
Always make time for you, bro. Always, anytime.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to spin you around. We're going to take a look at what we have going on. Can you hear Kris in my mic, Des? You can.
Speak
Hello, test.
barely.
All right, you can speak up a little bit. So we talked about we've switched it up the last two haircuts. Why don't you tell these guys what you've been looking for, when your last haircut was, and what we're looking to do today?
Just kind of have it playful on the top still, but able to style it. But something just give it a little bit more flair on the back, you know what I mean? Just something that...
Well, why don't you tell them what you have going on the back? So what did we switch it up to?
We went from like just, it was just a regular fade all the way around, right? And then,
Yep.
And then we changed it up a little bit and wanted to do the mohawk kind of
Yeah.
in the back. So.
Sweet. So we were doing just a kind of a basic drop fade, burst fade. We kind of switch it up in the different styles. We've always played around with length on top. We're at a maintenance length kind of right now. It's a little longer, having fun. And then Kris wanted to add in a mohawk in the back in a V shape. So we've been growing it out for a little while. Now we're kind of at, we have some length on the back. So now we have room to play with a little bit more. So yeah. So we're going to add in a drop fade. We got a mohawk in the back, longer hair on top. And this cut can be quite intimidating, but we're going to chunk it down today. And we're going to kind of take it step by step. And we're going to take things that you already know how to do and put them together to produce this overall look. So we're going to start with kind of sectioning out the top from the bottom. And then where our mohawk is, we'll attack the fade, the top, and then move to the back. And then just so you guys know, right here, the top, as you can see, kind of from about the top of the ear forward, it's disconnected. So we are going to have a disconnect. There's been times where the haircut's been more connected. As it gets longer, we play around with more aggressive disconnection. So I just wanted you guys to have that kind of going forward. Has there been, with where it's been with length, has there been any kind of issues right now? Is it still styling the way you want it? Is it getting too heavy and like
Maybe a little,
falling?
Maybe a little heavy because it's getting thicker and longer, but it's still playful and just...
Okay,
really
so we can take some length off today.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna remove a little length. I can kind of, what I'm looking at, guys, just so you know, as soon as a client starts sitting down, I'm gonna start assessing the hair and what I'm seeing. I see some heaviness up top. It's starting to kind of droop here. A haircut dry can still style to the look that you want it to. And then the product's just supposed to hold it. So as I'm seeing kind of the hair droop and whatnot, that to me says it's a little too heavy. We can remove a little length while still maintaining the same style. Kris is okay with that. He just wants to be able to run his hands through it, kind of flip it from side to side or flip it back. So pretty cool. All right, good to go then.
Sounds good.
Sweet. All right. So we're going to section off the top, like I said. I'll show you that. While we're doing that, I'm going to catch up with Kris because this is kind of our normal haircut time, so and whatnot. So yeah, man, we just got, like I said, we just got back from Vegas for our trip out there. So we had a conference, 4-day conference, and it was centered around the point of sale system. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
You had a crew go with you?
So two of my coworkers, and yeah, we got to explore a little bit. Do you know the Sphere out there?
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
thing. That thing looks
Insane.
It is,
incredible.
guys. It is wild.
That's nuts.
It is wild. So I saw that, and then I went and saw a Cirque du Soleil show.
Nice.
That was random though. It was we got done the conference, we had dinner, and then I was like walking around in the resort, the hotel we were at, and there happened to be a show going on. So it started at 9:30 or something. It was like 9:35, and they were like, yeah, you can buy a ticket still if you want. So I was like, cool. So I went and saw that. We had fun.
Is that the thing with the elephants? People like throwing themselves in the air?
I mean, they have all different kinds of shows.
Yeah.
So
Huge production.
yeah, they have a lot of different stuff going on.
Pretty amazing stuff too. They're
Yeah.
talented people. Yeah.
All right, guys. So prep work is important. I know a lot of people, they feel like it goes slower, but it actually will help you in the long run because you'll know what to focus on. So if you could just look down slightly. All right, so we separated the top from the bottom. Now, Kris's hair is straight, very, very straight, on the thicker side. So when his hair grows in, it grows out first and then down. So for the top, especially if we want it to flow back or lay, it needs to be a certain length. So we got to pay attention to that with extremely straight hair and then hair that's on the thicker side as well. So we're going to clear out to the top of the side, and we're going to create a nice box here, and then so that when the hair is pulled back, it'll actually look like all the hair is flowing back, and give him a nice structure. We've talked about this before, so I'm comfortable with saying it here. Kris's face is a little bit more on the rounder side, so when we put a square shape in his haircut, it balances that out. It looks and looks really good for him, right? Round face. It's all right.
Nice way to put it.
Well, everybody's got face shape, man.
it's
So
all right.
you know, it just is what it is.
You see my occipital?
You got to take your client's true attributes into consideration when you're doing these haircuts. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna clear out first. So this is a 2 detachable. We're gonna go up and off and cut in the shape that I want here. So we're looking for, again, just this square shape. And this is what I imagine when I'm clearing hair, going up and off. And as you can see from the part, where we have it sectioned, it's going to keep that hair long enough to create the shape that we want. So I will not bring the clipper in and off the head. That would shave everything down. We're going to leave a little bit of length by going up and off. The trick with going kind of up and off a client's head, once you find that angle of approach, if you follow it all the way through, You will have less work to do with clipper over comb or shear over comb. If you go straight up, what people tend to do is they go straight up and then straight down, and it leaves a very hard ledge. That's fine. You'll have a guide underneath of it. You'll just have more work to do with shear over comb or clipper over comb. If you gently follow through, it's just less work to do later. So I'm avoiding doing some of the work that I would have to do in a later step because I can use the clipper the same way. So again, this is a floating technique with the clipper. So from here up, the clipper is basically, as I'm floating up and off the head, it's creating longer hair. So another way that people would say this is they're guard skipping. All right. Here, make sure you maintain your clipper control, so the shape of the mohawk. So it's going to be important that you continue to turn your clipper. I know it seems like common sense, but clipper control is extremely important here when you're trying to get a shape. Kris typically comes in every 3 or 4 weeks, so I can still see the shape of my last haircut, which is nice. How's John doing?
Good, man.
Is he doing it? Any soccer or anything?
Yeah, he had soccer this weekend and loved school. Absolutely loved school. So we're really fortunate with that.
Yeah, that is helpful. It's extremely helpful.
Don't have to fight him in the morning, to get him ready or anything. So
Good.
he's ready to go. Growing too fast, man. You know that.
It's wild, dude.
Crazy.
No, it is wild. Just that being 7 and almost 8, it's just crazy. Yep.
That's how long I've known you.
Yeah.
I was off the year. I was talking to Dez. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna win it for 6.
Yeah, I think I met you when, I'm pretty sure Gisette was like 6. Well, was it right before he was born or?
Yeah, I think it was right before. Right before.
That's awesome. So there you go, guys. Kris has been sitting in my chair for 7 years now.
Didn't go anywhere else.
I have a little trick here that I do with my mohawks. 2 tricks. One, there's a flat spot on the head right here where I'll turn the clipper and go off the side of the head in that motion here to get it started. And then between the ear and the mohawk shape, I can put the clipper, the width of the clipper, I can go vertical and then wrap around the ear and really clear all this stuff out down below without messing up the shape. Also, the shape is going to be, we're going to have this like V shape, and creating that shape vertically can be a little bit more difficult than if I'm doing it with the clipper held at this angle to go off, because I can adjust whatever the clipper angle is set at here. It'll make the shape that I want. This is a little trick that I use. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. And if you want to let me know in the comments if you have any tricks or tips on producing a mohawk shape, let me know. Gotta get used to my camera settings. Cool. All right, sweet.
What do you think of the length? Good length in the back?
Yeah, I like it. I think I'm going to take a little bit out in the middle. How are you styling it up at all?
Yeah, like up and out, like the messy look, kind of.
Yeah, so the hair down by the nape is still growing in a little bit. The hair in the middle of the back is long enough. So I'm going to trim some of that and then texturize it. So that way, if you put product in it or not, it'll still have some texture. It'll kind of still look styled. Same thing in the back. So, guys, this is the most concentrated area of hair. This is the most, typically the most dense spot here and the apex. So we can afford to lose a little bit of length here. That's what I'm talking to Kris about now. And then we're going to add some texture at the end so to give the hair more movement. So we're going to remove some weight so it's nice and light. And even if he runs his hands through it or something or puts minimal product in, it'll look nice. All right, everything we just did, we're going to mimic with our fade. So we're going to punch in the fade. Every time I do something on one side, I'm going to do it to the other. It's extremely important when you're starting out doing a haircut. I think it's important when you're starting out to do fades to make sure what you're doing to one side you're doing to the other to set your guidelines. But a haircut like this that doesn't wrap all the way around the head, it's really important so that you don't lose your placement and you can be consistent from one side to the other. All right. So we'll do that now. I'm going to put this haircut in with my trimmer first. This is something I've showed on a previous class. I'm going to put an A and a B in, and then I'm going to connect it. And I'm going to use Chris's corner of his eyebrow to put my fade line in. And I'm going to follow basically the same arch that his hairline is. And we're going to put a B in down here. And then we're just going to connect it. Everything underneath. So take your time when you're putting your line in. And then once you have that line set, clear everything out underneath in longer strokes to get it done faster. Touch up what you need to. And then let's do the same thing to the other side. Eyebrows are symmetrical, so you can use that as a reference point. Eyebrows and eyes, nose, mouth are very symmetrical. So if you're going to use a reference point, that's what you want to use. So again, we're going to go in with the A. The B. Follow the ear shape and connect up. When going around, when making a curve with your trimmer, in this area, I'm going to use about 1/4 to 1/3 of my trimmer, not the whole blade. And then when you get on the straightaway again, then you can use the whole blade again. Anytime I'm producing some type of curved shape though, I'm going to only use 1/4 to 1/3 of my clipper. for control. The other thing that helps produce a clean shape, as you saw, like I was kind of lightly drawing that in, I use a kickstand. So I use this back finger, I put it on the client, and then I'm able to move my clipper up and down. And as you can see, I'm only able to move my clipper so far, so it gives me a point of stability, and I can't just go wild with the haircut. So it keeps me accurate as I'm putting a shape in. So I like to call it just a kickstand, which is again just a point of stability. So I'm not like guessing when I'm putting in the work, and I'm not stabbing at my client, and I'm not crossing my fingers and just hoping for the best. All right, this is how little tricks like that will make your cuts and your shapes really consistent. Great. All right, let's skin this out then. So I cleared with the 2 rotary. We just put a fade line in with the trimmer. We'll foil it out for the skin. Same thing here. I'm gonna use a third of the foil shaver when I'm going around that circle. Not using the whole thing, and then when I get on the straightaway again, we'll use the whole blade. He's not gonna be able to hear you right now. He asked you if you like cars, but he's not gonna be able to hear you right now. So hold on one second. We got anybody? Any questions from the school, Des? All right. Well, let's get some information from the school. Can you maybe type in, or if they can hear me? How many students? How many do we have? New students? We have senior students. Where are they from? Where did you say what state they were from? Cool. Well, yeah. Let's find out a little bit of information from them. If they have a lead educator or somebody who's typing stuff up. Okay, cool. So, this is tough in the mirror, or in the camera.
You want back up?
Oh, we're good. Cool. So, I just wanted to double check this symmetry. I'm just doing that on camera so everybody can see it. When I'm in the shop, I'm either looking in the mirror, or can you bring your chin up slightly? When clients are looking down, it's very difficult when the chin's down, it's very difficult to see if your fade lines are even. So change the angle that the head is sitting at. Right. So let's go in now. We're gonna go in with an open no guard. We're gonna down fade that, and then put a half guard on to polish that line in between the open no guard and the 2. So we'll do that now.
They said Washington State Olympic College students.
Cool. All right, so putting that open no guard in. I always start lower, so I want my line up here. I'm always starting lower so that I can use a flicking motion So because I don't want to create a line. So as I'm getting to where I want to set the line, see, we're going to roll the clipper off, as you can see here, which will put a softer line in, and it'll actually give us a little bit more room to fade.
Well, students are watching. Quarters 1 to 4.
Cool. Well, thanks again for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, or if I can explain something in more detail, or try to simplify things, please let me know. Right now, guys, I need you to know I have a magic clip. It's 0 gapped with a caliber blade on it. I know my tools very well. Been cutting them with them for a while. It is one of the things that helps you get the desired look that you want. I know that this clipper can can blend right into my trimmer. So I'm confident going in and putting that trimmer line in for my bald fade, and then being able to blend everything out with my magic clip. What I talk to my students about when working through this area of a skin fade, going from an open no guard down to the foil shaver, you should always be using the mirror at this point. Typically, lights are going to come from above, which is going to cast a shadow. So using the mirror, the light reflects off the mirror and it helps your eye see more of what's going on. And you shouldn't see, before you move on, everything from that open no guard below should look super clean. All right, so I'm seeing that here. I like that. And what I did to one side, I'm going to do to another now. So we went in with the open no guard, we down faded. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to have Kris tilt his head a little bit. This helps me be in a good position and a comfortable position myself. Sometimes one of the questions that we'll get a lot in school or with fades like this is how high should you go with the open no guard, and that can vary. At a minimum, if you're putting in a full open no guard, I use finger widths as an example. It's one of the easiest things to kind of measure. So on a fade like this, I'm going about a finger width here. That gives me plenty of room to down fade. The other thing that you want to take into consideration, as you see your client over and over and over again, it takes about 3 to 4 haircuts to learn somebody's hair specifically. So Kris his hair lightens up kind of quick. So I could, at a minimum, go a finger width. I could even maybe go a little less, maybe pinky, if I was trying to keep this tighter. So your client's hair type is really going to play a factor. If it's denser hair and darker color, the fade's gonna stay darker longer. So you may need to open up the fade more, draw out the open no guard. If their hair is lighter in color and in density, you're gonna have to keep it real close because it's gonna be harder to keep it dark. So those are things you gotta consider. If you're cutting somebody for the first time, this is why I like to have a system. I go through my system and try to assess the hair as best I can beforehand. And if there's things that I want to tweak or change, I just do it on the next haircut. And that's why it takes a couple haircuts to get that to get maybe exactly what you want. All right. What I found with most clients, guys, your job is to do a quality haircut and build a book. And you got to remember that your expectations are a lot different than your clients'. That's why consultation is extremely important. Find out what your client is looking for. It's usually 2 or 3 things that they want in a haircut. If you get close to that, then you have a client that'll come back to you. If you have a client that can come back to you, then you have a haircut that you can improve. So that's really what you're aiming for. Don't get lost in the sauce. All right. Get within a target of what that client wants and rebook them for the next haircut. All right, I'm going to go through with the same system I just did. So here's my half guard. I'm going up to then blend down. Same motion with the clipper. All right. So put your open half guard line in. What I love with these haircuts is you can hear the clipper cutting the hair. And as you can see, as it's cutting, I'm flicking off. These are smaller up and down motions with a quicker flick because I'm trying to keep the fade tight. So again, this speaks into clipper control. Now I like my open line. So my open line is here. So I'm gonna lever play and close my lever to blend down and get out any imperfections. When you see something, so I'm looking in my monitor right now, which again would be my mirror. So when you see something in the mirror, you can point to it. And this is something that'll train your eye. So I'm looking at my monitor right now. Can you back out? Can you pan out? Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay. See, I'm not looking at the haircut. I'm using my monitor as a mirror. I see something. I point to it while I'm looking in the mirror, and then when I look back, all right, what this is going to do is it's going to train your eye, and you'll actually be able to pick up on these things even quicker, and won't have to rely on your mirror so much. I just want to say one thing. You guys, one of the things that as you're learning something new, you are training your skill, physically holding the tools, your knowledge, what you know about hair, and you're training your eye. Those are the 3 things that you're training to produce good haircuts. Okay? So using the mirror and using that trick, that little bit of a trick I just shared with you, that'll help train your eye. Sorry, Des, did someone have like a question? Or?
Yes, she said, close or open, and then had a comment saying we had a glitch.
Oh, okay, so can you just confirm like they missed a part of the segment? Because I'll do it on this side. So if they can just confirm, because I still have this side to do.
I think I spelled miss wrong, but it's okay.
It's all good. Just as long as we gotta stand behind the chair and cut. We don't have to spell, but yeah, just confirm with them that, because I think they're talking about with the half guard. I went up, and then
When you were blending.
when I was blending, Okay. All right. I'll repeat it. I'll repeat what I said, and then just give me a thumbs up, guys, if it's what you're asking. Okay. So this is the open no guard line. I went up about a finger width, blended down into the trimmer, the foiler. The skin part is done. I'm now connecting the open no guard to the 2. I do this as much on as many haircuts as I can. Sometimes I have to go back in and polish with a little bit of a 1, but I'm basically guard skipping. So I'm taking a half guard and blending it into my 2 rotary. So I'm gonna repeat what I did with the open no guard. I got a half guard on, it's open. I'm gonna go up. I am not, just so you know, I am not gonna go up as high as a finger width, but you can use that as a marker. It's almost shorter, more controlled up and down motions with quicker flicks to keep the fade tight and keep that light to dark look closer. And once I have that all set, so I have it set here, now I gotta repeat it down. So we're gonna go open, open, if you heard what I was saying earlier about the mirror, I'm just going to repeat that. At this point, I would fully be cutting in my mirror and constantly checking it. We joke at the school, if you've ever been to the gym, the mirrors are not for selfies. Do you know what the mirrors at gyms are for, Kris?
Just to see how you're building your body, right? Your form.
Yeah, it's for form. So when I'm looking in the mirror, I'm using it to see what I'm doing right or wrong or where I need to correct. Okay? Yeah, you can punch back in. So what I was saying earlier was I'll use the mirror. I'm looking at the mirror now. If I see anything I don't like, I'll point to it, look back. That'll help me train my eye. My open no guard is up here, so everything from here down, I can close my lever a little bit and work down. Use some different tricks. This part can be really difficult because everything almost looks the same. So my open no guard is about here, just below that too. So I marked it with my comb, and now I'm just moving down and getting further and further away from that line, closer to the ear, to just take out any imperfections when I'm blending. So I opened it back up again. I'm cutting to get that line. The line's about here, so everything from here down, I can close the lever slightly and work with. Des, can you just confirm that that's kind of what they were thinking?
You said love the mirror tip.
Good. I'll share something like
They said they confirm it.
confirmed. Awesome. Teamwork. Ring lights are extremely helpful. I don't tend to use one in the shop. I do think it's a little intrusive to the client at times. So for the shop that I cut in and kind of that culture and stuff, like for the client, I tend to not have the light on. I can produce this haircut in the mirror and with the lights that we have. With that being said, if you do cut with the ring light, then that's great. You're gonna avoid, the ring light will kind of avoid some of those issues I was talking about traditionally where the light's coming down from the top. So, all right, get me in focus there, Des, real quick. On the cut, it's focused on my jacket. Cool. All right, so skin's done. That we were able to focus again on that because we sectioned off the top, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to do my normal cutting. We cleared the hair with the 2, and then I went into kind of my normal fade process. What I had to change a little bit was the fact that we put, a little bit of that mohawk shape in, or we blended into the mohawk, but essentially this is like a drop fade. And we're just not going to bring the fade down and around. We're going to leave this here. So again, we're trying to take a haircut and mixing components. You guys know a lot of what you're doing. If you get a complicated haircut that comes in during school or when you're behind the chair, just do your best to break it down to what you know and how you can put it together. It's a more difficult than we're making it sound right now, but just do the best you can. Really, when you're getting into haircuts like this, you're just putting together different haircuts that you already know how to do. So before I was able to do this, I was able to do drop fades and mohawks by themselves, and then kind of putting it together. And then I know how to cut the top. And I know about disconnection now, so we're just kind of putting those things together. All right. Because this haircut is disconnected, I'm going to finish this area here. So, Des, if you punch in a little bit, you can see how the haircut goes up and then flares out just a little bit. So we're gonna just take off enough towards the top. And then I'm gonna slightly bevel with some sculpting with the clipper, some freehand. And that'll be done, and then we'll move to the top. All right. Kris has extremely dark hair. So I'm going to use a white comb. Lighter hair, I use a dark comb. Again, seems like common sense, but don't forget to review the simpler ideas like that too. So one thing I noticed that people tend to miss with this front section is the head curves in towards the hairline. So this small area right here, if I leave the comb parallel to the hair, you can see that the hair's not even coming out there, so it's gonna leave that hair longer. So slightly turn in here. There should be no hair sticking out on the right side. That's gonna take care of the front, kind of tuck that in a little bit. And then we're just gonna follow all the way back. So now I have a guide to work with. This part, what I like to share with people is this is about leaving hair on the head at this point. So we're just cutting a little bit. If you go up and off, or if you go up and straight down, like I was saying earlier, if you go up and straight down, and don't leave off the head, you don't like that technique, you will just be left with longer hair up here, so you'll have a little bit more to take off, but it's the same idea. I'm very confident with my clipper and what it's capable of going up and off. So we got some hair towards the back here, but you can start to see that shape coming into focus nice and tight. That's it. That's all we want for that. See? Square, round, complements each other.
I don't gotta remember, it's all good.
We need to square this goatee off though.
I could grow hair there.
Oh yeah, we talked.
Watch yourself get a haircut.
We talked about that.
This is wild.
All right, I'll try to. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm left-handed. I'll do my best to adjust for you guys. What's that? I know. People like, cutting a client. I've been cutting him for like 8+ years or something, and I was teaching somebody in the shop, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, being left-handed, and he's like, you're left-handed? I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention.
My dad's left-handed.
Good. There's only 11% of us in the world, so shout out to anybody who's left-handed. We gotta stick together.
Can you share when the cut and edge, the hairline and technique?
Repeat that.
Can you share when to cut in parentheses edge, the hairline and technique?
Okay, so let's break that down real quick. Short answer, can you zoom out a little bit? Short answer is I don't edge until the area that I cut, or the area where I want to edge, is cut to the length that I want. If you get whatever the length is, you can get a clean edge, but as soon as you take length off again, the edge it's not going to be as sharp. So when I'm edging up, like I just hit Chris's edge here real quick. This area is cut exactly how I want it to. The same thing, just real quick, I'll use in reference for beards. So a mustache, I'll see people, they won't take any length off, they'll go to line it up and then they'll cut the length, and then that lineup doesn't look as sharp as it did. So, quick answer, whenever the area is cut to the length you want it to, that's when I start to edge up. Technique-wise, we can dive into that a little bit. I can line up the other side and we can talk about that as well. If there's any specific questions on techniques that you guys want, if you could be a little bit more specific, that would be helpful. But I go in with my outliner first. I have 2 outliners. I have one that I can use on sensitive skin. Sensitive skin typically is kids, and older gentlemen. Sometimes I have a client in my chair who's in between that, and I use my sharper clipper, and it makes them red or irritated, so I know to use my other clipper on them next time. They both get good lineups, but my one that is tighter, that I'm really going to be using for edge ups and everything, I know which one that is. So err on the side. If 2 outliners is always good to have. You want that hitter outline, and then you want one that you can just use on everybody that still gives you a crisp line, but it's a little bit safer to use and everything. When you have that hitter, man, you really just got to guide the tool and let the tool do the work. So really knowing your tools is important, because what happens with those hitters, your cutting blade is closer to your still blade, and the blades tend to be thinner. Ultimately, what that means, guys, is if you press around here or on the back of the neck, you can see how Chris's skin moves here. We have more skin in those areas. So if you press too hard, the skin will actually feed into the teeth. So then you're cutting your client, or you're irritating the skin. So you really just want to tap and let the blade do the work. When you have your hitters, you really don't need a lot of outside pressure.
Not all clients want their natural hairline followed on the edge. What do you use as a guide when it isn't there?
Okay. Thank you. That's perfect. So let's speak into that real quick. So back out for a second. Pan out, man. Let the people see my face. Come on. All right. Let's see this come together real quick. On that square shape, you can see the hair just kind of, as it's pulled back, sitting. I'm gonna have you look in the mirror or look ahead.
Kris, you got cool hair, man.
Hey, dude, his hair, it's awesome.
I wish I was Asian, though.
It's awesome. Yeah, sometimes it's the canvas that makes you look good as a barber. Don't forget that, guys. All right. Okay, so look at that. Look at that hair sitting on top. So Kris could wear it like this. This is a little bit more of his formal look. And then if he wants to prop it up and wear it disconnected and stuff, he kind of like he said, he likes to have fun with it a little bit too, like that. So a couple different styles he can do with it. He is limited, but couple different things he can do. Okay, so back to your question. I love this question. Thank you so much. So if I like to be as versatile as possible. I like to cut as many people, different hair, ages, and everything. So I really like this question because not everybody, like you said, wants an extremely tight lineup. So you need to define what that is as a barber for yourself behind the chair. So when doing a haircut like this, you're going to tend to want to give it an extremely sharp lineup, but it alters the look. Okay, and sometimes it could be too aggressive for people. So for Kris, I go a little bit more natural. We tighten it up a little bit, but I'm not creating his outline. Creating the outline, you're going into the hairline more, and you're creating the shape that doesn't exist there. What happens with that is if your client is used to coming back every 3 or 4 weeks, that hairline is going to grow back in 5 to 7 days, and it's not going to look sharp after that. So you get about 5, 7, maybe a little bit more out of it, and then you and your client need to know that it's going to grow in. So they either need to come in weekly for that lineup, if you're willing to do that, or you got to kind of find the in-between. So what I follow is I first look at their natural outline. I take the hair to that, and then depending on how sharp I want to go, you start moving the lineup in from there. As you do this, that's a gradual way into getting into sharper lineups. Once you move on from that, once you see the hairline and what you want to do, and you can see it, and you got the skill, and you know what you're doing, you can kind of attack it more aggressively. That's what we were talking about earlier for our session. So that's my approach. Please confirm that answers your question. The other thing that I would say is, how do I know what I'm going to do or not going to do? I ask my client. So if you ask your client, hey man, do you like more of a natural lineup, or do you want me to sharpen this up or make it look really tight? If they're not sure, then start with their natural lineup, maybe go in a little bit more. If they like it, leave it. If the client's like, hey man, I've never had it before, let's try it, then do it. Give them that tight, crisp lineup, and let them know that if they don't like it, the next time they sit in your chair, to let you know. That's when you'll have a client, that's when you'll start to build trust. But if you just go right in and do it, there's 2 pitfalls. If you go right in and do it and they don't like it and you didn't let them know to tell you, they're not going to come back to you because they think that that's all you do. If you don't show them what you're capable of and they do want that look, then you tend to have a client who might kind of waver a little bit. So let them know what you're capable of, but you got to talk to your client, okay? Let them know what you're capable of.
This happened to me at my last haircut. They asked me, they're like, hey, what do you want, the sharper or more, or you want to follow your natural hairline? But what was interesting though is that my natural hairline was actually deceiving, because it looks like I have a widow's peak, but I don't. I just have extra hair falling over, so you would never know that. And then one time at a haircut before, this is like years ago, they gave me a shape up, but they made their own kind of line, and then they started to grow in quicker than
the haircut?
Yeah. I was like, dang.
Yeah, so let's I'm just gonna say it. Let's talk culturally right now, because like people who you would put like a sharp lineup with, that would tend to get sharp lineups. People don't always don't assume whoever's sitting in your chair based off of culture that they want something specific, because that's what that culture tends to get or anything. You have to treat every client like an individual and ask. And that's where I was saying I like to be versatile. Notice, like when we were talking earlier about Kris's hair, I'm talking about Kris's hair. His hair is dark, it's thicker, and it's straight. Yes, that tends to be attributes of Asian hair and everything, but we're talking about hair. When we're talking about curly hair and types of curl and afro and stuff, we're talking more about African American hair type, but it's not limited to that. And there tends to be certain hairstyles that different cultures like. In order to be versatile and give your client exactly what they want, please don't assume, just ask. And if they want it, great. And if they don't, then you just saved yourself a world of trouble. Okay? That's how I would speak into that situation. When I was younger in cutting hair and I was learning how to do tight lineups, I was doing a haircut similar to this, and it was a younger gentleman. He was like 13 or something, and I thought the lineup would just look so fresh on him, and so I did it. The mom came up to me at the end of the haircut. She said, "Don't ever do that to my son ever again." Like, okay. It was just too aggressive. It was too sharp. When I took a step back, I kind of looked at it. It's just something that they didn't like. So remember, guys, you can do an amazing haircut. If it's not what the client asked for, it's a terrible haircut. Okay? So ask questions if you don't know, and don't assume. Sound good?
Great. Here, bud.
All right. All right, let's get into my favorite part, top cutting. I got my 6 1/4 double shark fin shear. Love this bad boy. This is my powerhouse. Comfortable behind the chair, so I'm just going to give you, just those features that I like about it and everything. Ergonomically built for the hand, super comfortable. Love this scissor for what it can do, wet and dry. So again, that's my 6 1/4. We have 5 1/2 inch shears, 6 1/4, and 7. So please, if you're interested in new shear sets or shears for a specific thing, take a look at the website.
Let me share shear again. Let me share joint again.
You got it?
Yeah, we need chop. 100 for hair. Let's go.
Love it. All right. So we're going to do center profile. It's going to show me the length. We're looking to have the hair lay back. As we said earlier, the hair is falling a little bit because it's too heavy. I'm seeing where the ends can be split, or where the ends are starting to split. Oh, really? You all right on time?
You mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're going a little longer than I thought. Are you okay? If you got a jet, just...
I jet like 15 or 20.
Okay. All right. If you guys are good on behind the camera, we're going to stay a little longer than normal today. If I was talking too much, I apologize, but this has been a good class. So, all right. We're going to take about an inch off. My finger angles, the cutting angle, I'm going to slightly go short to long here. The bang is being pulled straight up, so it's already over directed. If I pull it out here, you can see how much more I'll be cutting. I do not want to do that right now. I want the hair in the front here, slight angle, short to long, so that it can layer back. So let's...
They have to go. They said thank you.
They got to roll. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. If you want to finish this up later, we'll have it up on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Any other questions, reach out to us, Sharkfin Shears on Instagram or education@sharkfinshears.com.
Any codes today?
Huh?
Any codes?
Yeah, if you guys are they still on?
Yep.
Okay. For joining the class today, guys, if you're an individual looking to go purchase a pair of shears from Sharkfin, go to the website. When you go to checkout, type in VP, my initials, 20, VP20 for a promo code. And if you're in the school and you haven't yet gotten our student shear kit and you're looking to carry it, you can email us, education@sharkfinshears.com, or get linked up with your provider and give them VP10 for 10% off your first student kit shear cost if you're not carrying shark fins yet. All right, if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you again for tuning in. Best of luck. And again, I hope this was helpful for you. All right, so let's finish moving with this center profile guide back. Here's my guide. we're going to continue the same slight angle. Beautiful. The crown's falling out, so we're just trimming hair there. All right, so that was a center profile. We're going to take that center profile. I'm going to pick up some new hair by moving it over. All right. Got some hair here. Keeping that same angle, letting the crown fall out. And then we'll finish that up with our last section. There we go. So I have two guides, one from the right, one from in front, checking my finger angle for the cutting line. Beautiful. All right, some of these smaller hairs inside the head that are starting to show and pop out, we're going to take care of that for Kris. All right, so let's take care of this side. Same way. We'll do this head on this time. So center, there's the center line. We're going to move it over. There it is. Check the cutting angle. Trimming down. Same thing. Now I have a guide from the left and from the front. Finish off with the crown. Sweet. There we go. Removed about an inch off the top here for Kris. This will give him a little bit of play. I'm going to section out the bang.
See you guys, nice meeting you.
I'll see you.
I thought you said you were rolling in 15.
No, I gotta return this lens back.
My cameraman's leaving. My cameraman's leaving. All right, guys, here's the disconnected part.
See you, bud.
Later, bro. So I'm going to follow the same angle here. As you can see, there's just like some frayed ends. We're just going to clean that up there. We're going to leave main part of the bang out. Let that hair from the top come down. Same angle. Cut some of the ends off here. Let that flow back. All right. I like the nape area. We're going to take out some length here, texturize it, and be on our way. I'm going to start in the center here too. See that length? I'm going to cut this. I'm going to point cut it. When I pull up the hair from the bottom, yeah, it lines up nice. So just like I did up top, I'm going to take that center line, move it out towards the right. So I have a guide coming in the front. Move that guide out. Cool. And then right in the middle here to add some texture. I have a 14 tooth texturizing shear. See if you guys can see that a little bit. Yep. So about 14 point cuts, and sometimes I don't even use the whole shear. So point cuts right here. I'm gonna just tap and pull out. That'll add nice texture for Kris in the back. Cool. All right, we're gonna put a little bit of product in, blow dry it up, be on our way. So I'm gonna add a dry pomade in, blow dry it, and then Kris tends to like either a powder or a sea salt spray, which is the product's light enough to be able to give them some movement, but adds a nice hold to it. So I like to go down to the root fingertips first to get some of the product off my fingers. Then once I have some of the product off, we can go in with a little bit more aggressive.
Which pomade is that?
The 7 East. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I love this stuff. Cool. All right, let's see here.
You need blow dry?
Nah, same one. Yeah. Same tools, different location.
I think that'll be a good anniversary gift.
If she wants it. Like if she
Not
wants,
everything.
if this is, I mean, if she's spending time blow drying and everything, yeah. I mean, I know people like just women at home who have bought it and they don't use it enough, so it's not worth it. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
My anniversary's tomorrow. So maybe I can-
Oh damn! Oh, that's why you wanted the haircut. Sweet. All right, run your hands through that, man. So at the end of every haircut, I always let my clients run their hands through, show me how they're gonna wear it, if we're liking the texture and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Looks great.
Yeah, and then we always have fun with like different types of combs for Kris's hair is really helpful. Gives them more of a textured look. Running the fingers through the hair is always easier too, especially with the right product. So there you guys have it. All right. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. If you are checking us out on YouTube, we appreciate it. Please leave some comments. If there's anything you guys want to see in the future, let me know. And if not, then we will be back next Monday. We'll see you then. So, Kris,
Thank you.
thank us again. You can say bye to the crew,
Appreciate all y'all.
and I'm going to sign us off. All right.